This is Fantasy Football Picks and Bets Week 12 Rankings Update, Injuries, and Prize Picks, all presented by, get this, PrizePicks.com. Use code MMN at PrizePicks.com and get yourself a match deposit of up to $100. Link is down in the description, as are the rankings and injury cheat sheet, which will be updated all the way up until kickoff on Sunday afternoon. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, or if you're not American, I hope you had a great Thursday and Friday, maybe even Saturday. Let's make it a good Sunday for you, starting off with the Prize Picks. Once again, code MMN at PrizePicks.com to get your match deposit of up to $100. The two that I'm going with right now, because 5 that I really like are not offered on the board as of yet. Maybe we can get those to come along, but the two that I'm going with, Jimmy Garoppolo, less than 30.5 passing attempts against the Saints, is 9.5-point favorites. He's only eclipsed this number twice in games so far this season, and those were 2 games where the Niners got absolutely waxed, and I don't anticipate that happening against the Saints. I mean, crazier things have happened, of course, but I do really like the less than 30.5. Then I'm trying to go with what I hope is a free square here, and hopefully they don't just jam the ball down players' throats on the ground, because you could technically go with Jeff Wilson, more than 80.5 rushing yards. That's a lot, even with Raheem Mostert out, but listen, it's Tyreek Hill. 92.5 is 7 yards lower than his sportsbook prop. Right now, this has not been adjusted, so that should be around 7 yards higher now. And listen, what are the chances he lands at 94? I mean, not great, I suppose, but this is a guy that keeps getting over 150 per game through the air. I'm just going to go Tyreek Hill, more than 92.5 receiving yards. I wish I hadn't lost so much money. We got to chase some money back here. Lost a bunch on the World Cup. I don't think I've won a single one yet, so I had to stop playing it. We'll go $250 to pay $750, and boom, we're in Jimmy G, Tyreek Hill, less than 30.5 passing attempts. Tyreek Hill, more than 92.5 receiving yards. The other ones I do like, if you do want to know, Michael Carter over receptions, George Kittle under receptions, Antonio Gibson over receptions, Keenan Allen over yardage, and Alvin Kamara under rushing yardage. When those pop up, I don't know why they're not populated as of yet, but PrizePicks tends to release those as we get to Sunday morning, later on Saturday. But as of the time of this recording, these are the two that I like. And you can see I played a few other ones here as a part of it. They have the new 6 play, which pays 25 to 1 if you hit it. I mean, it's not very likely you're going to hit all 6 of them, but it's fun to play. It's a fun way for me to waste $20, put it that way. So I have Aaron Rodgers, less than 232.5 passing yards. That number is gone. It's down to 224.5, or else it would have made my main play, but giving up 8 yards, that's a lot of yardage, especially in terms of percentage of this over and under. Kenneth Walker, more than 73.5 rushing yards. That's up to 75.5 right now on PrizePicks. Mark Andrews, more than 60.5 receiving yards. That's up to 65.5 now. That's now a stay away. I do really like this Terrace Marshall. Terrace Marshall, less than 37.5 receiving yards. He's eclipsed this in 4 straight games, but we now have Sam Darnold at quarterback. It is not a great matchup against the Denver Broncos, and he comes in with a questionable tag on his shoulder, so 1 hit and he could be done. So the less there. George Kittle, less than 45.5 receiving yards. I prefer the receptions under at the sportsbooks right now. It's 4.5, so I assume it's going to be 4 and 4.5 on PrizePicks once it's released, because Kittle could get this all in one play. It's just sort of the big type of player he is, so I prefer the receptions more than the yardage. And you can see Tyreek Hill was at 95.5, now at 92.5. So a lot of steam coming in on the less receiving yardage. I still prefer the more receiving yardage, because it is Tyreek Hill, and he just beats this number more often than he doesn't, at least so far this season. Coming off a bye, fully healthy. Let's go, Tyreek Hill, okay? Remember to subscribe to the newsletter, where you can catch up on the cheat sheets for everything and the like in there, plus all of the updated injury reports, all the hot links to all the shows, all the rankings lists. You'll be good to go. Big news at running back to kick it off. Leonard Fournette is likely out. Raheem Mostert most likely out. So when we take a look at the running back rankings, you can see Rachaad White. I've eliminated everyone from the Thanksgiving games. Rachaad White and Jeff Wilson coming in at 13 and 14. If you wanted to bump them up, because I might do a redo of this in real time as we go along. I don't like them as much as I like James Conner, although that's like a coin flip. I think I do like them more. I think I'm going to drop Kamara down even more. He can still make up a ton of value in the receiving game. I just don't see a lot on the ground for him this week against the 49ers. So I might actually drop him down to 16 or 17, bump up White and Wilson a few more spots to make them low-end running back ones for the week. I did drop down Josh Jacobs to number 5 because he's in a great spot, but here's the kicker. He's now questionable with an ankle injury, and he practiced all week. This popped up on Friday, so there is a chance that he does not play this week, and we're probably not going to know until last second unless, God bless Adam Schefter, he can come out with that information Sunday morning. But keep an eye on that. Zamir White would likely start in his spot, but as underdogs to the Seattle Seahawks, you probably get a lot of Amir Abdullah on the field, being 4-point dogs to the Seahawks as it is. So it'd be Zamir White on the ground and goal line, but in passing situations, which you expect them to be in most of the time, I'd lean Amir Abdullah. But as of right now, it still looks like Jacobs is going to play, but just keep an eye on that in case any late information breaks. Mixon, he's out. Play Pirine. Easy stuff. Gus Edwards, likely in. I like him more than Kenyon Drake, but obviously I do not love him this week as it's still a split between him, Drake, and Lamar Jackson on the ground at the same time. You also have Mark Ingram coming back. He'll back up Alvin Kamara if I don't like the rushing attack in this game. Why would I like Mark Ingram? He's awful. Don't worry about him. Darrell Henderson signed with the Jags, but he is sitting out week 12 against the Baltimore Ravens. Clyde Edwards-Helaire placed on injured reserve. Jaylen Warren is likely out for Monday Night Football. More concrete news, on that on Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning because that is the Monday night game, but I expect a lot of Najee Harris in this game and no Jaylen Warren against the Colts, and Giovanni Bernard designated to return from injured reserve. Good coupling with Leonard Fournette, likely to be out in this game, but still, you're gonna have to like our main man, Rachaad White here. Russell Gage is out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so you can squeeze some value out of Julio if you try your hardest, but don't love the spot for the receiving game for the Bucs. Not that you can't pass all over Cleveland. You can, but it's supposed to be like 30-mile-per-hour winds in that game, so short passes only. So you're going to have to score a touchdown more than likely. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin still far more reliable in that spot than Julio Jones. Kadarius Toney out. Obviously, Mecole Hardman is out. Juju is likely to return for this game for the Chiefs, so Juju becomes the highest ranked of the receivers. Justin Watson gets a big bump back down. Sky Moore gets a bit of a bump up with no Kadarius Toney around. Rondale Moore, he's out. Mike Williams, he's out. So start Josh Palmer for sure. Hamler and Judy both out as well. Kendall Hinton would be the roll of the dice there. I don't think you need to do that. Romeo Doubs for the Sunday night game is out. Greg Dortch is a game time decision with a thumb injury that is a late game, so we're probably not going to know. It's a great spot for Dortch, obviously, with Rondale Moore already out. But it does seem like Marquise Brown might actually return, so you'd end up with Hopkins and Brown on the outside. Dortch in the slot, which is a fantastic situation for him. I'm not even sure who's going to fill in for him. You probably don't want to roster them in fantasy, put it that way. If you can't come up with a name off the top of your head, probably don't want to play that guy. Allen Robinson is likely in for the Rams. Who cares? Devin Duvernay and Demarcus Robinson, both questionable. It does look like both will play. I like Robinson more than I like Duvernay. I have Robinson as a top 30 option at receiver this week. Jamar Chase is going to be a game time decision. Still not sure whether or not he's going to go against the Titans. If he doesn't, it makes the Burrow stacks on DraftKings super easy. That's the way that you wanted to roll it out. Quarterbacks and tight ends, you got Higbee is likely in, David Njoku likely in. Logan Thomas is probably going to play, but keep an eye on him. He's questionable with this ribs injury, and Jelani Woods, still not sure. That's the Monday night game. You're not playing Jelani Woods anyway, so who cares? Kyle the Pitts is out for the season. You don't need to pick up any of the Atlanta Falcons tight ends, okay? Kyler Murray, likely to start for the Arizona Cardinals. Good news. Justin Fields, still not sure yet as of this recording whether or not he's going to play. He has a separated shoulder, so I'm guessing he's not going to play, which means Trevor Siemian will start. Either way, it's a terrible spot for both quarterbacks. With a separated left shoulder, Fields isn't going to be running, so you can't start Fields if he's not running. Stafford is out. Bryce Perkins starting for the Rams against the Chiefs as 17-point underdogs probably by the time that game kicks off. Perkins can run, though. Perkins rushing overs, if they ever do release them, anything above 21.5, and according to my projections, is like a 75% winner. So take a look at his rushing yards, should that be something you're interested in the prop market later in the day. Sam Darnold starting for Carolina, Mike White starting for the Jets, and Kyle Allen is starting for the Houston Texans. That is the injury report, the updated rankings, and the prize picks for Week 12. You can catch all of the shows in up on the network, obviously. So like the episode and subscribe to Mayo Media Network, some to the podcast as well, if that's how you prefer to get your information. And all of the Pat Mayo Experience shows are up right now. Tambo and I walk through all of the DraftKings picks on Friday, all of the best stacks of the week. So please go hit that right now. Code MMN at PrizePicks.com to get yourself a match deposit of up to $100. Hit that link down in the description. Okay? I'm Pat Mayo. Good luck this week. I'll see you next time.